Uncharted in 5 minutes. Sort of. Everything you need to know about the story so far. Spoiler alert! Uncharted begins on a boat with treasure hunter Nathan Drake and perky journalist Elena Fisher. Before we continue, note that every vehicle in Uncharted explodes at some point, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, Nathan is looking for the coffin of his great-great-grandfather, or something, Sir Francis Drake. The attractive pair quickly learn that Francis faked his own death when they find out his coffin is totally empty, minus his diary and probably some Tupac CDs. Shockingly, their ship is wrecked by a bunch of filthy pirates, but they're rescued in the nick of time by Victor Sullivan, Nathan Drake's cigar-chomping partner in crime who looks like he'd fit in perfectly on the Love Boat.
Yeah, I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy.
Nate and Sully find out that the diary is basically a tour guide to El Dorado, the lost city of gold. They ditch Elena and find out that it isn't a gold city at all, but really a statue which went missing, because if it didn't, then the story would probably just stop here. And that wouldn't be much fun. The pair stumbles upon a decrepit U-boat full of dead Germans and decide that it would be a totally awesome idea to go inside it, because really, what could possibly go wrong? Inside they find, surprise, dead Germans, as well as a page from the diary that tells them to go to South America! Suddenly they're attacked by a bunch of mercenaries led by Gabriel Roman, another guy who loves to hunt for treasure but who's a total asshole about it. He's joined by archaeologist Atak Navarro, who's just a total asshole.
Take it easy, Navarro.
Roman shoots Sully and the boat blows up again, while Nate runs into the jungle and finds Elena, where they head to South America in Sully's plane. The plane is shot down by more filthy pirates led by Eddie Raja, Nate's old Treasure College rival.
Going somewhere? Hey, Eddie!
Nate and Elena find out that Sully isn't dead, but is actually working for the enemies, or at least pretending to, and that Sir Francis Drake's old diary also works as a really nice bulletproof vest. Meanwhile, Eddie gets murdered by implausible evil mutant dudes on steroids, and Nate and Elena head to a submarine to escape and not get murdered. Nate finds out that the mutant dudes are actually infected World War II Nazis who are cursed by the El Dorado statue. Navarro and Roman find said statue where Roman accidentally breathes in mummy fumes and is shot to death by Navarro. Navarro airlifts the statue and, secretly Nathan, off the island so he can sell it to terrorists or mutant lovers. A gunfight accidentally kills the pilot and the helicopter crashes onto a freighter. Big surprise. Nate and Navarro engage in some fisticuffs and a gunfight before Navarro is killed Looney Tunes style by a lasso that accidentally pulls him and the statue into the drink. Sully picks them up in a boat and the three sail into the sunset together with their fingers crossed that the boat won't get attacked by pirates, mutants, or explode. Fast forward to Uncharted 2, where Nate wakes up on a train hanging off a cliff. And you thought your hangovers were bad. Nate remembers that old friends Flynn and Chloe convince him to find an old lamp that will lead them to a map of Marco Polo's boatloads of treasures.
And what could possibly go wrong?
Flynn screws over Nate and steals the map and sends Nate to jail for 3 months. Chloe and Sully bail Nate out and they all head to Borneo to find Flynn and his perpetually angry boss, Zoran Lazarevic. Chloe sneaks into Lazarevic's fun club of evil dudes and they find a letter from Marco Polo that tells them to head to a temple in Kathmandu. They meet up with Elena and her camera guy Jeff, and they all decide to travel to the Himalayas to find something called the Chintamani Stone. But not before Jeff is shot and killed. Rest in peace, Jeff!
Tell me how am I supposed to live without you?
Chloe pretends to be pals with Lazarevic again, and they head out for a great train adventure, while Flynn shoots Nate, who later wakes up on a train hanging off a cliff. Hey, remember that? Nate makes his way to a Tibetan village where Elena is hanging out with some German guy named Carl Schaefer. Schaefer tells Nate some cool treasure stories, but Nate is all, whatever dude, who cares?
Yeah, that's right.
Nate and the village leader Tenzin instead head to an ice cave full of Yetis. Just don't bother asking at this point. Only to come back and find out that the entire village full of innocent people have mostly been murdered by Lazarevic's peoples who have also kidnapped Schaefer. They find Schaefer in an old monastery where he says, "Destroy that Chintamani stone thingy," and then dies. Nate and Elena travel beneath the monastery where they battle more Yetis and find out that the Yetis are really Chintamani stone mutant people who dress like Yetis.
What?
Yeah, we told you not to ask. Nate finally finds the Chintamani stone, which isn't a stone at all, but really a big tree filled with blue steroid sap. Flynn finds it too and gets so excited that he accidentally kills himself with a grenade, while Lazarevic realizes that drinking steroid sap is like drinking wrinkle cream that also makes you invincible. Nate doesn't really care about all that and leaves Lazarevic to get eaten by the Chintamani stone mutant people, while everything around him blows up like usual. Nate goes back to the village and has a Betty and Veronica moment with Chloe before deciding that he likes Elena much more. And the two watch the sunset like a bunch of high schoolers who would never crash a cargo plane into a desert. Right? Fuck.